All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest, most fundamental shifts happening in B2B buying. We're going to figure out why your best deals just seem to appear out of nowhere, and more importantly, what you actually have to do to win in this new world.
So, does this sound familiar? You're hitting your numbers. The deals that are coming in are actually high quality. But when you ask, where did they come from? Crickets. It's a total mystery. It feels like these perfect customers just materialized on your doorstep, ready to sign. And look, this isn't just you, and it's not a fluke. It's a paradox that points to a huge structural shift. The most critical parts of the buying journey, where trust is built and decisions are made, have moved into the shadows, into places we just can't track. The game has changed fields, but a lot of us are still playing on the old one.
So let's unpack this idea of the vanishing funnel, because here's the key. Trying to fix this with more tracking software or more attribution models, well, that's completely the wrong way to think about it. We don't really have a visibility problem.
This right here, this is the core idea you have to get your head around. The wrong diagnosis is saying, oh, our tools are broken, we need better measurement. No, the real diagnosis is that this is a fundamental buying system shift. Our customers have changed the way they buy, completely.
And here's why that diagnosis is so important. If you get it wrong, you fall right into the measurement trap. You start using these old KPIs that don't just fail to help, they actually push your strategy in the exact wrong direction. Think about it. Our old dashboards love things that are easy to count. Channel ROI? It just gives all the credit to the very last thing someone clicked, ignoring months of trust building. MQLs? That just rewards you for grabbing an email address, not for actually building confidence. And attribution models? They actively punish the things that work best now, like podcasts or community engagement, because they can't be easily tracked. We're measuring the final step and totally ignoring the marathon that came before.
And this quote just nails it. The result is so predictable, right? The money flows to tactics that produce easy-to-see charts, like paid ads, while we underinvest in the systems that actually build deep, lasting credibility with our buyers. So if the buying isn't happening in our visible funnel, where is it? Well, let's take a look inside what people are calling the dark funnel. This is where the magic really happens now. Let's be really clear about what this is. The dark funnel isn't some gap in your data you need to fix. It is the new stadium for B2B decision-making. It's where your buyers are listening to podcasts, talking to their peers in Slack groups, and using AI to research you, all before you ever know they exist. Now, get ready for this number, because it's a big one. 70%. Let that sink in. The vast majority of the entire decision-making process, the part where opinions are formed and shortlists are made, is completely hidden from you. The part we can see is just the tiny tip of the iceberg.
And what's pouring gasoline on this fire? You guessed it, AI. A staggering 89% of B2B buyers are already using generative AI for their research. They can compare you to your competitors and get their questions answered without ever having to visit your website.
Okay, now this might be the most important number of all, 95%. In 95% of deals, the company that wins was on the buyer's very first shortlist. This means the game is basically over before your sales team even gets the starting gun. Your only job is to get on that initial list, which is created entirely in the dark funnel.
And if you're a visual person, this chart just says it all, doesn't it? We pour all our energy, all our budget, and all our measurement into that tiny 30% visible slice. Meanwhile, the real game, the 70% where the winner is decided, is happening completely out of sight.
So, the big question, how do we adapt? What do we do? Well, the answer isn't better tracking, it's a completely different strategy. We have to make a huge shift in our thinking, away from capturing demand and towards enabling decisions. We have to help our buyers make confident choices on their own terms, where they already are.
So, the new playbook looks like this. We stop obsessing over funnel optimization and start building an architecture of influence. We move away from short-term campaigns and focus on creating persistent, always-on credibility. We stop messaging to a single persona and start enabling the entire buying group. And we quit churning out sheer volume of content and instead focus only on what's relevant to their decision.
And yeah, that means our dashboards have to totally change. We have to measure what actually matters. So, instead of MQLs, let's track shortlist mention frequency. How often are we in that initial conversation? Instead of misleading channel ROI, let's look at the ratio of unattributed pipeline that closes. A high number there is proof your dark funnel strategy is working. It's about tracking real influence, not just easy-to-count clicks. So how do you actually do this? It really boils down to a deep, almost obsessive understanding of your customer.
You have to map out their whole world, not just one persona. And then you have to make the long-term commitment to investing in the quiet stuff that compounds over time. The expert content, the community presence, the things that build real trust in the channels you don't own.
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground here. We've talked about the problem, the trap, and the new playbook. So what's your next move? Where do you start?
It all comes down to this single, powerful idea. At the end of the day, the dark funnel isn't a technology problem to be solved. It is the new terrain, the new reality. Your job isn't to find a magical flashlight to illuminate it. Your job is to build a brand so strong, so credible, and so helpful that you become the obvious choice within it.